You are about to enter the Gowah and General Custer No Woke Zone. Okay, today's show, the Gowah and Custer show. Custer's guest today is Joe Labonte.
Hi, folks.
And Joe is pretty much a constitutionalist. If I want to know something about the Constitution, I'll ask Joe. And so Joe's going to talk a little bit about foundational principles. First of all, the show is brought to you today and sponsored by Wasatch Firearms Network. Wasatch Firearms Network, the place to buy, sell your firearms safely. You can also advertise with Wasatch Firearms Network. If you're an advertiser, there's a 30-day free trial period. That's WasatchFirearmsNetwork.com. Wasatch Firearms Network. Look at the link down at the bottom and check us out. All right, let's get the show moving. Joe,
let's go for it.
What do you think? Where do you want to start? You were telling me earlier foundational principles. Is that where you want to go?
Well, I think so. Right now, probably anybody that's watching your show recognizes we're in trouble, big trouble. And my focus has been for the last 40-something years about the Constitution. It's our rule book. It's like playing football without a rule book. This is what we've got going on right now, and it's a hatchet fight. And to change that, the American people, when it says we the people, it means we not only have the rights, and we also have a responsibility to make sure that we maintain that Constitution. John Madison, in the first Congress, made the point that the Constitution is nothing but a dead letter until the people breathe life into it. And we're not breathing any life into it at all. We're all sitting around whining and blah, 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 and coming up with whatever and listening to crap. It's real simple. If you want to have a life and a world that you can live in, that your children are going to be able to excel and move forward in their pursuits, we have a responsibility to protect this document that came forward and gave the world, really, the foundation of due process and the rule of law. And we don't have that. When you have people creating sanctuary cities, it's illegal, and they're complicit to any crimes that take place by anybody that they've allowed that's illegally here and has already broken the law, as one example. It's really about fair play. It's about football and basketball. They have the same thing. They have rules. They're required to, and when they don't, when you take away the rules and you just let everybody do whatever they want to, and you got a hatchet fight. You don't have a ball game anymore. Well, we have a hatchet fight. We don't have a proper country running now. There's no reason for Antifa or BLM or any of these forces to be there because they're breaking the law. And they attack somebody, they need to be in jail and they need to be prosecuted. If people aren't prosecuting, we need to remove those folks. If you've got mayors and governors and people that are protecting them, they need to be removed and thrown in jail for being complicit to the crimes that they're committing. Our Constitution establishes that principle. And it's about making sure that we're not governed by laws that are created. We're governed by our own sensibilities. And the federal government certainly, and even the state government, needs to stay out of our day-to-day lives and allow us to decide for ourselves. We're the boss. We're the ones that they have to answer to. Only they don't answer to us because we don't task them. We don't, So my thing is one, I'm trying to build out an organization that's going to be eventually cooperative. And the bylaws and the outline for it are going to be patriots only, no Twinkies allowed. You've got to step up and you've got to be involved in your community, and you have to show a learning and an understanding of the Constitution. Because without it, we're not going to have a country much longer. So if people are worried about their families, their communities, they better step up. And I expect to see at least a third of the nation has already stood up. But they need to really step up, not blah blah. I'm tired of the blah blah blah. I'm doing a blog called Stop Bitching, Start Fixing.
There you go. So I noticed you have a coffee cup there with you.
I do. Call me Bubba.
There you go. Little shameless plug for the Black Rifle Coffee Company. I just got their new helicopter coffee, gunship. And we're drinking it today. Did you get some of that in your coffee cup?
I did not.
We'll have to do that.
I feel deprived.
Yeah, we've been drinking it. Our cameraman, say hi, Chad. You can just say hi.
Hi.
Probably saw his hand whip around there in the corner there. Thanks for the camera work today, Chad. Anyway, a little shameless plug for Black Rifle Coffee Company, being a vet I support our troops all the time, and I am an avid drinker of coffee every morning. My entire family, Black Rifle coffee's on our table every morning. All right, so Joe, how do we learn about the Constitution?
Well, it's
What
real
do you suggest?
simple. You can pick up a handbook for $2.95 in Barnes and Noble or your local bookstore, or you can do it online. There's lots of videos on the Constitution. There are people out there. I applied it twice, in a sense. I went to arraignments for two different folks, and I got them released from the crime that they were being charged with. One was a Native American. He never got to see his attorney, and when I found that out, I went to my public defender friend and said, what do we do? He said, well, you fire the guy and get a new attorney. And I did, and the new attorney came in, and I said, hi, I'm Joe Labonte. He said, I know who you are, stay out of my way. And I told him, you don't understand. I'm paying your salary. I'm paying for all this. You don't tell me to sit down and shut up. You do your job, and you won't get fired.
You didn't get removed by the bailiff?
No.
Okay.
And so 2 weeks later, what happened was they charged him, a white guy and him, a Native American. Well, the public defender that I worked with doing subpoenas for depositions.
Can I
and
throw in a
things.
little quip?
What's that?
Just a rule. Did you ever hear that little saying, bailiff, whack his pee-pee?
No, I have not heard that one.
Where's that from, Chad? Is that Saturday Night Live? It was somewhere. Bailiff, whack his pee-pee.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live.
Could be laughing.
Could be laughing, yeah. Go ahead, I just had to throw it
Well,
out.
so the thing is, the judge let the white guy go after he presented the evidence that she bought the alcohol and picked him up and all that good stuff. It was some party went bad, I guess. And so he turns to the prosecuting attorney, and she says, what about Mr. Killsmall and this
Was he an American Indian?
Native American, Lakota?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I was into Indian issues back then. Still am. And she said, we're going to charge him with rape.
Those Indians are tough bastards, do you know that?
Well, some of them are.
You ever see them in the rodeo?
Some of them
Oh,
are.
Lehigh Rodeo right here. Boy, I'll tell you what.
So she said, we're going to charge him with sodomy, rape, and kidnapping. And my jaw dropped. What are you talking about? He's an alcoholic, a drunk that lives on the edge of a pasture land of a friend of mine. And now you're charging, he doesn't even draw. So I went to James. I said, James, you're going to jail for the rest of your life if you don't straighten this out. And you got to talk to your attorney. And he said, what attorney? So anyway, we fired him and got another attorney. And 2 weeks later, case dismissed. That's how bogus it was. This goes on all the time.
So you were able to help.
Well, yeah, because
So-
I showed up.
So our audience could do the same thing?
Absolutely. My dream, my vision of this thing is people really wrap their heads around the power and the quality and character, not only of the Constitution, but its historical narrative.
Could we give a link to maybe your website you have or something to
Yeah,
show people
sure.
where they can start to do the same thing you did? Because
Yeah.
I think that was powerful.
Yeah.
You stepped in for somebody as a citizen, right?
Yeah.
Not as you have no legal.
There's a wonderful book I want to plug here.
All right.
It's called For the People by Akil Reed Amar. He's a constitutional scholar at Yale, and he's highly respected around the country. It lays out how powerful the foundation of the rule of law and due process is. It was one thing that the colonies could do that King George couldn't mess with.
Right.
It was their one powerful position prior to actually deciding to fight a revolutionary war.
We'll put a link down here for
crca.coop.
Is his book on there?
Oh, his book. You can go. Amazon. These are the people you don't want to be with because they're the ones screwing our nation. And you go to your local bookstore and ask them for the People by Akil Reed Amar.
Yeah.
But if you have to, because it's worth it, and you do need to use Amazon to get it, well then okay, so much better. But it's a powerful book that explains. This is for the people, this Constitution and what it's about and how important the courts are in this process.
So, as far as learning about the Constitution and applying the Constitution, well, you gave us a good example. How would you like to kind of wrap this up here?
Well, it's real simple. The people in office are not the problem. They're the symptom of the problem. The problem is you and me and we the people. We're moving around in this quagmire with no knowledge of what we can do about it. The Constitution is the medicine chest for solving it. Oh, Thomas Jefferson said it well. Let the Constitution be that which binds men from mischief. And it does. Except we sit back and let them be mischievous. The lobbyists now run our country and write our laws. Well, our Title 1811-201 of our federal code. Bribery of public officials and witnesses. No person shall influence any public official in any way. It's a federal crime.
Would that be like these big corporations,
Exactly.
big tech
All of that.
influencing with an election?
All of
Chinese
that.
lobbyists.
All
Right.
of that. All of that. And the only antidote we have is a well-rounded, educated public that will do everything they can to remove them from office. I legally would like to see us go after them at the local, state, and national level whenever they're abrogating their responsibility to the Constitution, which they take, as you did and I did, an oath to preserve and protect the Constitution. Only they're not. They're busy being Chinese Communist Party members. I mean, the Supreme Court wouldn't hear any of all of the insanity that was going on with our elections. So now I look at them. They're Chinese Communist Party members. They are not Americans. They have abrogated their responsibilities and they need to be removed from office. And the only way it's going to happen is we collectively start getting knowledgeable about the. You got to start there. You can't do anything unless you know. It's like firearms. You deal with firearms. Well, you don't want to hand out firearms to people that I took your CC class, and and I'm glad I did because I got a much stronger understanding of my responsibilities with a firearm. Not just having one and waiting for an incident to happen, but how to deal with that incident. And so it's all about learning and we've got to get, and see, to me, the CRCA, the Constitution Restoration Cooperative Association, is going to be a for-profit cooperative. And there's either individuals over 18 and or family members, because I want the under 18 involved, but they got to be with their families. And I want them tasking these people. Imagine if somebody breaks the law, they see it, we'll have lawyers in the area they can talk about, say, yeah, they broke the law. So then what you do is you take and you sign an affidavit and take it to the Attorney General's office. You get thousands of kids going up to the Attorney General's office demanding somebody be arrested and charged with whatever. That's just one avenue,
Right.
And that hopefully will, that's my hope anyway. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But the thing is now you have a generation that's actually invested in themselves. So.
Yeah, so you know what, Joe? You're an inspiration. You're a walking constitutional book, in my opinion.
Gosh,
I appreciate you coming on the show today. I just like to say something. We were talking about taking an oath to protect our Constitution. A lot of times, being a Marine Corps vet, people say, well, thank you for your service, especially around our community. Thank you for your service. My response is always, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'll do it again. I love this country and everybody in it, and I would fight to the end for anybody in this country to protect the Constitution and uphold the Constitution. So, thank you for coming on the show, Joe.
Thank you, Jay,
And
for
we hope to
having
see
me.
you again, right?
Well, I hope so. That'd
All
be
right.
great.
And you took an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
And that never goes bad.
Thank you, cameraman. All right. Gotta hit the button.
All right, well, thanks.